Hi everyone. Thank you for all your wonderful comments so far. This is my second video and it was really humbling and beautiful to receive all of your feedback about the launch of this new project and my first video. So thank you for your comments, your questions, your suggestions, all of that. I've been writing all your suggestions down for other videos and topics and stuff that you'd like to hear about. I have this whole list going on. For now, what I was wanting to share today was 10 things that new mums really want. I thought that would make for perhaps a very useful video for a lot of people, because I really don't think you can imagine the intensity and the reality of being a first-time mum until you actually are that and you're in that. And I know for myself in the past I've wanted to help other mums and just felt like I don't even know what I would do, how could I help them, what would they want. So I put together this list. And obviously this is just the stuff that comes to my mind, and it would be great if you think of other things and you put them in the comments or send a message or whatever. I'm sure there's lots of other things that could be thought of. And I was thinking that these things are kind of especially for the first few weeks of life, but really I think they could apply to the whole first year actually, most of them. So yeah, one other thing I wanted to say was I really wish that I could give every single new mum out there a doula, because I don't know how people cope if they're a single mum, or they don't have great support, or their partner goes back to work really quickly. You know, I just, it blows me away what mothers do. So yeah, I actually heard that you can get free doulas apparently sometimes. I don't know how, or if it's like a birth doula or a postpartum doula, or maybe both is possible. I just think that would be such an amazing charity to set up at some point, like a free doula charity. Those first few days, those first few weeks are such a roller coaster, so intense, and you never get them back again, you know? So having help, I just think, is amazing in those first days. So here's my list, and these are in no particular order, just the order they popped into my head. So the first one, what new mums really want: sleep. Yeah. You know, sleep deprivation is a well-known form of torture, and when a new baby arrives, they're feeding every few hours, and maybe for a really long time each time. Pretty much it feels like, you know, if you're breastfeeding, this is obviously, that you're almost kind of breastfeeding all the time. Like, it just never ends. So yeah, sleep kind of becomes this kind of rare quantity for many people. And it can be just such a huge shock to the system, you know. So if you've been used to sleeping, whatever, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 hours a night, solid, and then suddenly you're being woken up every few hours by this tiny, tiny little helpless person who is screaming at you, it can just be completely disorientating and just really, really challenging to manage the sleep deprivation. So if you can even take and hold the baby from a new mum for even 15 minutes, the difference that can make in terms of her being able to just lay down and get a little bit of sleep. Again, it's hard to imagine if you haven't been in that situation, but that is what I would do when in those first few days, first few weeks. I would ask someone to just take her, and I would just put my head down. I would just be out in a second. I was so tired. And yeah, I think that's something that can be really underestimated. You might think, well, like, what difference does 15 minutes make? But when you're that tired, it can make a huge difference. Okay, the next thing is nutrition, like liquids and foods of whatever description. If you're around a new mum, it can always be a really great idea to ask her, can I get you anything? Like, do you want some water right now, some juice, some whatever? If the mother is breastfeeding, which hopefully she is, the hunger levels can just be unbelievable. It burns so many calories, breastfeeding, especially in those early days. The babies might be eating like just non-stop, the baby. So it's really great for the woman to make sure that she's getting a lot of liquid to keep up the milk supply, and a lot of nutrition to keep herself going, keep the milk supply going, keep the baby going, keep everything going. And I've just heard this from so many mums all the time, that they would sit down to nurse and just be like, oh, they'd totally forgotten to make sure they had some liquid near them, and there's no one around to ask. And yeah, just a really good thing to always ask a nursing mother, do you want anything to drink or eat? Support for doing things around the house, whether that's like making meals or doing laundry or chores or whatever it is. Even like, again, just taking the baby for a few minutes so that the woman can take a shower. That's huge. Where we live here, a few people have had other babies recently, and it's been really sweet to see like little kind of meal trains being set up. So other people in the community, like us and other friends, will fill in like a kind of timetable. We're going to bring food on this day, and come over and bring food to the new mum, the new family, so that that family isn't thinking constantly about, oh, what we're going to eat today, and oh, let's do this, and we've got to clean the bathroom floor or something. So it can be so helpful and so appreciated to help out in those kind of ways around the house for new parents, because again, you don't get that time again. And how important is doing the dishes or something in the context of the opening days and minutes, hours of your child's life. So if there's somebody else around to help with that kind of stuff, it's really beautiful. And along those lines, I wanted to mention a kind of baby moon idea as another one. So if you are like coming and helping out in those kind of ways, it's quite likely that the new parents would appreciate it if they just kind of had quiet time. That you're not really there as like a chatty, let's all get together and talk about stuff kind of visitor. More that you're just there delivering some food or putting on a load of laundry or whatever it is, so that the parents have time to bond with the new child and just to heal. It's such a massive shift for everybody. The baby, the mom, the partner, the father, if they're around. It's this huge transition, and it takes a lot of integration to work out your new rhythms together. So if you can get that kind of quiet time, that can be really, really appreciated, rather than, tons of visitors who want to talk, and you might get like really kind of strung out and exhausted. I wanted to also mention like positive comments. For a new mum, it's really common that new mums go into like the baby blues. I think it's something like 80% of women. The hormonal changes are so enormous, and it's really common to go into feeling like anxiety and depression and confusion about the whole new role. And never underestimate the impact that a positive comment can have on a new mum. Even if you simply just say to her, "You're doing great," or, "I think what you're doing is amazing," or something. You have no idea, if you haven't been in that position, how much of an impact that could make on the woman, and how much she might just hold on to and cherish those words, and it might completely brighten up, her hour, her day, her week, her entire experience as a mother. So, obviously not to do it in a kind of just random, condescending kind of way. "Oh, you're so great," if you don't really mean it. But if there's something that you see that really, inspires you, or you appreciate, if you reach out and honor that, I think it can be really powerful. What else? Again, on the subject of the kind of baby blues thing, someone to listen. If a woman is just given birth and she has this whole kind of birth story reality going around in her head, and so many questions about like this new baby and what now, just somebody being there to listen to all of that, and maybe even like a shoulder to cry on, if the birth didn't go in the way intended, or there's a whole kind of roller coaster emotions going on or whatever, just to be there and to listen and to support that woman in what she's going through, to not necessarily be, sitting there giving advice, just to listen and say, "Wow, you really went through a big experience," or something, whatever it is that comes to you that feels appropriate to share, because the woman might not necessarily have that, maybe she has a partner around or something, and maybe they were involved in the birth and they don't necessarily want to hear, or it doesn't feel appropriate or something for her to share her version of the birth story with them, or maybe she's going through stuff that she doesn't feel like sharing with them, just being there as someone to listen to a new mum. What else have I got? Physical help. The body can be experiencing some pretty intense things after just giving birth. So the majority of women, again, either their perineum tears or they have an episiotomy. So either way, that's really painful. So helping the woman, asking her if there's anything you could do to help with that, if you could collect some aloe leaves for her, if you could set up a sitz bath for her. Maybe she's also having issues with breastfeeding. Maybe you could find some kind of product to help with the nipples. I always used this natural nipple butter from Earth Mama Angel Baby. I had huge issues with breastfeeding in the first few days, and that was a really big help. So asking about the physical stuff, because, she might be kind of shy to say anything. She might not know options. She might not even be able to get her head around it. There's so much to integrate in those first few days, She might be kind of thinking, "Oh, it would be good to have some aloe," but the idea of actually trying to get that might be, completely beyond. So even like abdominal massage, you could offer, if that feels appropriate. How does your uterus feel? Does it feel like it's kind of getting back into place? And would it feel okay if I kind of massage it? Of course, it's going to, depend on your bond with the person, and maybe they have professional people who are helping them, and it doesn't feel appropriate or something. But just to be aware that the mother's physical body, as well as everything, but especially the physical body, has been through a huge shift, and she might require some support there that she's not necessarily getting. Support with things like getting breastfeeding going really well, and even things like putting a baby in a sling and a Moby wrap. These kind of like real world physical things with an actual baby, because we live in these funny kind of societies where a lot of us don't even have baby exposure before we have our own child. Maybe we've kind of done a class and we've learned how to put on a sling or a Moby wrap or something with a doll, or we've tried it at home, but that's one thing, and actually dealing with like a squirming, screaming, floppy newborn human is like something else, you know. So physical help with that kind of stuff as well, if that's something that you're able to offer, is like really invaluable. How do you bathe a newborn? How on earth do you bathe a newborn? You know, like that's completely mysterious if you've never done it before, and you don't have someone to show you. So those kind of like skills that further along the kind of parenting path probably become, you know, just very perfunctory in the beginning, can be like an absolute mystery. And again, like overwhelming, so much to integrate, such a huge learning curve in the beginning. So yeah, all of those kind of real baby skills, I guess we could call that one, real world baby skills. And the last one on my list was the idea of taking photos and films, you know, little videos. Of course, this will also depend on the family, but it might be really welcomed for, you know, with a new mum or a new family, if you offer to take some photos or do some filming of their moments together in those opening days. Because, you know, again, if you're in that situation and you're trying to integrate everything, you're trying to learn how to bathe the baby, how to breastfeed, you're in huge physical pain, da 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 da. The last thing that's probably on your mind is picking up a camera and getting some really nice shots. So, you know, some people probably wouldn't like it. They'd feel it was intrusive or strange or inappropriate or whatever. But just something else to consider, that that might be a really amazing gift to share with the family, that they would really treasure, like further down the line. Like, wow, I'm so glad you took those photos when the baby was 2 days old or whatever it is, because I couldn't have got it together to do that, you know. So there we go. That's my 10 things that new mums really want. I hope if you're watching this, you find some resonance with that. Whether you are a new mum, or you have once been a new mum, or you're wanting to help a new mum, or whatever it is. And yeah, if you have any other ideas, suggestions for things that new mums really want, please do go ahead and post them in the comments. And for now, I wish all new mums out there the very, very, very best. I hope you get sleep. I hope you get support. And I hope everything finds its rhythm for you very swiftly. Bless you.